Owen Fletcher, 34, was reviewing quarterly revenue projections when the text came through at 3:22 p.m. on a Thursday. It was from Cassandra Walsh, 32, my ex-business partner and former girlfriend. We'd dated for 3 years while building our fintech startup together, then split 6 months ago when our personal relationship imploded. We still co-owned Fletcher Walsh Analytics, though the arrangement had become complicated. "Hey, I need to tell you something. I'm pregnant. It's yours, but I don't want you involved at all. No support, no visits, nothing. I'm doing this alone. Just thought you should know." I stared at the message for a solid minute. Our company was in the middle of Series B funding talks, having successfully closed our Series A at 1.8 Modders 18 months ago. The last thing we needed was personal drama affecting investor confidence. I typed back, "Understood." 3 dots appeared immediately, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, "That's it? Just understood? Yep. Wow. Shows what kind of person you are. Don't contact me again." I set my phone down and opened my desk drawer, pulled out a folder labeled Legal Documents, Personal. Inside was a DNA test report from exactly 2 years and 4 months ago. The same test that had shattered my trust in Cassandra completely, though I'd tried to make our business partnership work for another 18 months after that discovery. See, Cassandra had a pregnancy scare back then, right during our Series A negotiations. She was convinced she was pregnant, made this whole production about it. We were talking about stepping back from the company, planning for maternity leave, adjusting our equity agreements. The timing was catastrophic. We had 3 VC firms interested, and suddenly our co-founder dynamic was shifting to expectant parents. Then one day, she came home crying, saying she'd miscarried. Something felt off about the whole thing. The timeline didn't match her cycle. Her story kept changing slightly. When I gently suggested we go to the doctor together to make sure she was medically okay, she exploded. Accused me of not trusting her, said I was being controlling, but I couldn't shake the feeling, so I did something that probably makes me an asshole. I took a strand of her hair from her brush and had it tested against some tissue material from her miscarriage that I'd kept from a bloody tissue she'd thrown away. Yeah, I know how that sounds, but my gut was screaming at me, and we had $800K in Series A funding on the line. The results: no genetic match. The tissue wasn't even human. Best guess from the lab tech, I questioned. Chicken liver or similar organ meat. I never confronted her about it. Instead, I slowly started separating our personal and professional lives. We kept the business running, closed the Series A successfully, but I moved out, started dating Miranda Davis, and eventually we mutually agreed our romantic relationship wasn't working. Cassandra never knew about her fake pregnancy, but now she was trying round 2. And this time, it threatened our entire Series B valuation. I took a photo of the DNA test results. Then I scrolled through my contacts to find Dorothy Walsh's number, Cassandra's mother. Dorothy and I had maintained a decent relationship, even after the breakup. She'd invested $45K in our seed round and still held a 3.2% equity stake. I typed, "Hi Dorothy, sorry to bother you, but Cassandra just informed me she's pregnant and wants no involvement from me. I wanted you to have this information from 2 years ago before any family decisions are made. I never told anyone about this, but given the current situation and our business obligations, I think you should know." I attached the DNA test results and hit send. My phone exploded within 30 seconds. "What the hell is this? Are you saying what I think you're saying? Stay where you are. We're coming over." 25 minutes later, there was pounding on my office door. I opened it to find Dorothy standing there with Cassandra, whose face was red and puffy from crying. Dorothy looked furious. "Inside! Now!" Dorothy commanded, dragging Cassandra by the arm. They sat on my office couch. Well, Dorothy sat. She basically threw Cassandra onto it. "Show me everything," Dorothy said. I pulled out the physical folder, the original test results, my documentation of the timeline, everything. Dorothy's face got redder with each page. "You faked a pregnancy?" she hissed at Cassandra. "You faked a miscarriage during Series A negotiations?" Cassandra was sobbing. "It's not like that. I thought I might be pregnant, and then I wasn't sure, and Owen was being so sweet about adjusting our business plan, and I didn't want to disappoint the investors. So you bought animal organs and pretended to miscarry?" I asked calmly. The room went silent. "How did you—" Cassandra started. DNA test. It wasn't human tissue. Dorothy stood up slowly. And now this pregnancy? Cassandra looked at the floor. Answer me. I am pregnant. But, it's not his. The room was so quiet you could hear the HVAC system cycling. Whose is it? Dorothy asked in a deadly quiet voice. Bradley's. Your married colleague Bradley, the one with 2 kids? Silence. You're trying to baby trap Owen because Bradley won't leave his wife, Dorothy said. It wasn't a question. Cassandra started ugly crying. You don't understand. Bradley said he loved me. He said he was getting divorced. But then his wife got pregnant again, and he said he couldn't leave now, and I'm already 2 months along. What am I supposed to do? I leaned back in my chair. So, your solution was to pretend it was mine and that you didn't want my involvement, thinking I'd fight for parental rights and support you anyway. She looked up at me with tears streaming. You were always so responsible, so good with business planning. I knew you'd step up, even if I said I didn't want you to. You'd never let a child of yours go without support, and it would look good to investors, stable co-founder with family values. Except it's not my child. You wouldn't have known that. Dorothy's hand moved so fast I barely saw the slap coming. The crack echoed through my office. You disgust me, Dorothy said. Using this man's integrity against him after everything he's done for you. He supported you through 3 funding rounds. He gave you equal equity when he could have pushed you out. He treated you with respect even after your relationship ended, and this is how you repay him. The next morning, I woke up to 47 LinkedIn notifications. Cassandra had posted a long update about personal challenges and unsupportive business partners, and how some people will abandon you the moment real responsibility appears. She tagged our company and used hashtags like you entrepreneur, you single mom, you business struggles. The comments were brutal. Several investors who knew us both were asking pointed questions. Our Series B lead, Victoria Hoffman, sent me a direct message. We need to talk. But Dorothy had LinkedIn too. She commented, Interesting narrative, Cassandra. Should I share the DNA test showing you faked a pregnancy 2 years ago? Or should I mention that you admitted this baby is actually your married colleague's? Everyone. My daughter is attempting to defraud her business partner. Owen Fletcher is the victim here. The post went nuclear. Within 2 hours, Cassandra had deleted everything, but screenshots live forever, and Victoria had already seen them all. Then came the message from Bradley's wife, Jennifer. Is this true? Is Cassandra pregnant with my husband's baby? I sent her screenshots of everything, including my recording of Cassandra's confession in my office. Yes, I recorded it. One-party consent state. And with our business at stake, I wasn't taking chances. 20 minutes later, Jennifer posted the screenshots on Facebook with the caption, So this is the work friend Bradley said I was paranoid about. Currently pregnant with my husband's baby while trying to fraud her business partner into raising it. Some women really have no shame. She tagged Cassandra, she tagged Bradley, she tagged their company. But wait, it gets better. Bradley showed up at my office that night. This guy actually had the audacity to be mad at me. You couldn't just leave it alone, he shouted when I opened the door. She wasn't asking you for anything. She said she didn't want you involved. You could have just walked away. I laughed, actually laughed in his face. Walk away from what exactly? Your affair? Your lies? My business reputation? You don't understand. Jennifer is taking everything. The house, the kids, everything. And now Cassandra won't even talk to me. She says this is all my fault for not leaving Jennifer sooner. Sounds like a you problem, Bradley. I could make this a you problem real quick. He stepped forward, trying to be intimidating. Bradley, you're 5'8" and have the muscle mass of a marketing intern. Also, my building has security cameras. Please, by all means, assault me on camera. I'm sure that'll help your custody case. He deflated like a punctured balloon. She told me she was on birth control, he said pathetically. She told me she had a miscarriage that turned out to be chicken liver. Welcome to the club. He stared at me. What? I showed him the test results. His face went white. Oh my God, what have I done? I destroyed my family for a psychopath. He actually started crying. This grown man stood in my office doorway sobbing about how his life was over. Part of me felt bad for him. The other part remembered that he was a married father who chose to have an affair with his colleague, so Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Remember how I said Cassandra's mom, Dorothy, was on my side? Well, apparently that caused a massive family rift. Cassandra's dad, Harold Walsh, decided that I was the villain in all this. According to him, I humiliated his little girl and aired private family business. The guy actually called me, threatening legal action for defamation. Harold, truth is an absolute defense against defamation. You're saying my daughter is a liar? No, I'm saying she lied. There's a difference. One is a character judgment. The other is a statement of fact backed by DNA evidence. You had no right to share that information. Your adult daughter tried to commit fraud that could have cost me my business. Her mother, who has equity in our company, deserved to know. He hung up on me. But then the extended family got involved on social media. The Facebook fight went on for hours between Dorothy and Harold's sister Rosa, with cousins taking sides and grandmother Ethel chiming in about how, in her day, this would have been handled quietly. Then Cassandra made her next move. She showed up at my office building. Our startup occupies the third floor of a downtown tech hub. About 30 companies, everyone knows everyone. She was visibly pregnant now, crying at the reception desk downstairs. Please, I just need to talk to Owen. He won't answer my calls. It's about our business and our baby. Our baby? The security guard called me down. I brought our CFO, Andrew Webb, as a witness. Cassandra, you need to leave. Owen, please, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry for everything, but this baby needs financial security. The company needs stability. Then tell Bradley to step up. He won't. His wife is divorcing him, and he says the baby isn't his problem anymore. You're a successful entrepreneur. You could be a wonderful co-parent. Biology doesn't matter. We built this company together. Andrew stepped in. Ma'am, you need to leave, or we're calling building security. I'm pregnant with his child, she wailed to the gathering crowd of other entrepreneurs and investors who worked in the building. With someone else's baby, I said loudly enough for everyone to hear. You already admitted. It wasn't mine. This is harassment. I pulled out my phone and played the recording of her admitting Bradley was the father. Half the building's tech community heard it. Cassandra's face went from fake devastated to genuinely horrified. You recorded me? One-party consent state. Now leave before I file a restraining order. She left, but not before screaming that I was a sociopathic monster who destroyed her life. Andrew looked at me after she left. Dude, your ex-business partner is completely unhinged. I did file for a restraining order. The judge granted a temporary one immediately after hearing the recording and seeing the evidence of attempted fraud. This apparently triggered something in Cassandra because she went completely off the rails. First, she tried to contact Miranda, my fiancée. Cassandra actually called the woman I was planning to marry and told her she was carrying my child. Miranda, bless her, said, Honey, Owen sent me the recording. I know that baby isn't his, but even if it was, after what you've done, I wouldn't want you in our lives anyway. Please get help. Cassandra's response? She told Miranda I was gay and in denial, which is why I was rejecting her and the baby. Miranda called me laughing. Even if you were, that would be fine. But you're not, considering you proposed to me last month. After that failed, Cassandra tried a new approach. She contacted several people in our professional network, including Victoria Hoffman, our Series B lead, asking if I'd ever shown concerning behavior patterns during business negotiations. Victoria forwarded me the message with a note. Your ex-business partner is clearly unstable. This doesn't affect our funding decision, but you should document everything for legal protection. But here's where it gets really crazy. Harold decided to take matters into his own hands. He showed up at my office building with two of his brothers, 3 middle-aged men trying to intimidate me into doing the right thing. You're going to take responsibility for my daughter and that baby, Harold said. I laughed. No, I'm not. She's pregnant and alone. She's pregnant with Bradley's baby. Bradley's problem, not mine. You think you're tough, boy? I think I'm smart enough to have this conversation in a building with security cameras and witnesses. I also think Andrew here is probably recording this. Want me to call building security? They left, but not before Harold said, You'll regret this decision. The only thing I regret is not seeing who your daughter really was sooner. The next day I got calls from 2 different investors claiming Harold had contacted them, saying I was financially unstable and making poor business decisions. Both investors laughed it off and warned me about the harassment. Then Harold tried calling my landlord, claiming I was running some kind of illegal operation out of my apartment. My landlord, who I've known for 5 years, called to warn me about the weird accusation. They even called Fletcher Walsh Analytics directly, telling our receptionist Grace that I'd been embezzling company funds. Grace immediately transferred the call to Andrew, who told them to provide proof or face legal action for false accusations. They hung up. But the peak desperation came 3 days later. Cassandra posted on a pregnancy support group on Facebook that she was abandoned by her baby's father and needed financial help. She raised $1,400 before someone recognized her name from Jennifer's viral post and outed her in the comments. The group admin investigated, found out the truth about the affair and fraud attempt, and not only banned her, but demanded she return the money or they'd pursue fraud charges. Court day arrived for the restraining order hearing. Cassandra showed up in a maternity dress that looked like she was about to give birth to triplets. She was only 4 months along. Harold was with her, along with some lawyer who looked like he got his degree from a correspondence course. My lawyer, Janet Richardson, had everything organized. The fake pregnancy test from 2 years ago, the recordings, the screenshots, the harassment documentation, everything. Cassandra's lawyer tried to argue that I had emotionally manipulated her into lying about paternity. Janet responded, "Your Honor, how does one emotionally manipulate someone into having an affair with their married colleague?" "He was withholding business affection," the lawyer said weakly. "They had been broken up for 6 months when she got pregnant, Your Honor. The defendant has been engaged to another woman for 2 months. The judge looked tired already. Then Cassandra took the stand. She actually tried to cry, but couldn't produce tears. She kept touching her belly dramatically while talking about how devastated she was that I wouldn't step up for this innocent baby and our business partnership. "Ma'am, is the defendant this child's biological father? Biology doesn't determine fatherhood or business responsibility." "That's not what I asked. Is he the biological father?" Long pause. "No." "Do you know who the biological father is?" "Yes." "And who is that?" "I don't see how that's relevant to our business relationship." "Ma'am, this is a restraining order hearing, not a business dispute. Answer the question." Bradley Thompson. "And where is Mr. Thompson today?" I don't know." The judge granted the restraining order for 2 years. Cassandra screamed that I was ruining her life. Harold called me a coward. Security had to escort them out. But outside the courthouse, Bradley was waiting with his lawyer and divorce papers. He wanted Cassandra to sign something acknowledging paternity and waiving any claims that might affect his asset division with Jennifer. The meltdown was epic. Cassandra started hitting him with her purse. Harold tried to grab Bradley. Bradley's lawyer was recording everything. It was chaos. Local business news picked it up because someone filmed it. Tech entrepreneur drama leads to courthouse arrests. Yeah, Harold, Cassandra, and Harold's brother Rick all got arrested for assault and disturbing the peace. 6 months later, the consequences kept rolling in. Bradley's divorce was finalized. Jennifer took him for everything. He's living in a studio apartment and paying alimony and child support for his 2 actual kids. He moved to another state to start fresh, signing away all parental rights to Cassandra's baby before he left. But here's the karma kicker. Remember how Cassandra worked with Bradley? Well, their company, Innovate Solutions, had a strict fraternization policy. When their affair came out publicly through Jennifer's Facebook post, both Cassandra and Bradley got fired for violating company policy. Cassandra tried to claim pregnancy discrimination, but the company had documentation of her admission that she'd been having an affair with a married colleague for months. They also discovered she'd been using company computers to research how to convince ex-boyfriend baby is his, and can you fake a DNA test. IT had pulled her search history during the investigation. She's now unemployed, pregnant, living with her parents. Harold and Dorothy are getting divorced over this whole situation, and has a restraining order preventing her from contacting me or coming near our office building. Dorothy called me last week. "Owen, I'm sorry about everything. I'm getting Cassandra therapy, but she still thinks you ruined her life by not going along with her plan. I hope she gets help, Dorothy, for the baby's sake. You're a good man, better than she deserved as a business partner. I'm considering selling my equity stake. I don't want this drama affecting the company's future." "That's your choice, Dorothy, but you've been a great investor. Don't let Cassandra's actions force you into a decision you'll regret. Meanwhile, our Series B funding closed successfully. Victoria Hoffman told me privately that Cassandra's behavior actually demonstrated my crisis management skills to the board. The way you handled that situation, documentation, legal process, protecting the company's reputation, that's exactly the kind of leadership we want to fund, she said. We closed at a 4.2 asset valuation, with Victoria's firm leading a 1.8 meter round. Cassandra tried one more desperate move after the funding announcement. She went to a different lawyer about suing me for emotional distress and business interference. The lawyer literally laughed her out of his office after reviewing the documentation. I know because his secretary is friends with Grace, our receptionist. The lawyer apparently told her, "Ma'am, you have no case. If anything, you're lucky he hasn't sued you for attempted fraud and business interference." Final update, Cassandra had the baby, a boy. Bradley had already signed away his parental rights before the kid was even born, wanting nothing to do with the situation. That had cost him his marriage and career. Cassandra tried to put my name on the birth certificate anyway. The hospital called me because she'd listed me as the father on the paperwork. I sent them copies of the restraining order and the court documents proving I wasn't the biological father. They had to call security to remove Harold from the hospital when he made a scene about them refusing to put my name down. According to the grapevine, and Dorothy, who still updates me occasionally, Cassandra is living with her parents in their basement. Harold and Dorothy's divorce was finalized 3 months ago. Apparently, this situation exposed a lot of underlying issues in their marriage that had been brewing for years. Harold moved in with his brother Rick, the same guy who got arrested at the courthouse. They're both apparently bitter about the whole situation and still blame me for destroying their family. Dorothy got the house and is doing well. She's actually started dating someone new, a retired teacher she met at her yoga class. The extended family drama continues. Rosa, Harold's sister, still posts passive-aggressive memes about family loyalty and standing by your children no matter what. But most of the family has sided with Dorothy after learning the full truth about what Cassandra tried to do. Bradley moved to Phoenix and got a job at a smaller tech company. His LinkedIn profile says he's starting fresh and focusing on personal growth. Jennifer is thriving. She kept the house, got generous alimony and child support, and is now dating a cardiologist she met at her gym. She posted a picture last month of them at some charity gala, looking genuinely happy. Cassandra tried to restart her career with some remote freelance work, but her reputation in the local tech community is basically destroyed. Word spreads fast in startup circles, and what she did to me, and the way it all played out publicly, made her unemployable at any serious company. She's been posting on LinkedIn about entrepreneurial challenges and overcoming adversity and the strength of single mothers. The comments sections are interesting. Most people in our network know the real story, so her posts get very few genuine responses. Last month, she tried a new angle. She started a blog called Single Mom Entrepreneur and was trying to build a personal brand around her situation. She even launched a small crowdfunding campaign for business development as a single mother. It lasted exactly 4 days before someone linked to all the court documents and news articles about the courthouse arrests. The crowdfunding platform shut down her campaign and refunded the $340 she'd raised. As for me, Miranda and I got married 6 weeks ago. Small ceremony, just family and close friends. She jokes that she owes Cassandra a thank you card for being so crazy that I was single when we met. Miranda's been incredibly supportive through this whole mess, never once questioning my decisions or getting jealous about the drama. The wedding was beautiful, stress-free, and completely drama-free. We made sure to have security at the venue, just in case Harold or Cassandra tried anything, but they stayed away. Dorothy sent a lovely card and a generous gift, which I thought was classy of her. Fletcher Walsh Analytics is doing better than ever. After Cassandra's equity was legally transferred to me as part of the restraining order settlement, she violated the partnership agreement through fraud. I own 100% of the company. The Series B funding allowed us to expand our team to 12 employees, and we're already getting interest from Series C investors. Andrew Webb, our CFO, got a promotion to COO and a significant equity stake. Grace, our receptionist who dealt with all the harassment calls, got a raise and a bonus. The whole team rallied around me during the crisis, which really showed me who I could count on. Victoria Hoffman's firm has introduced us to 3 other portfolio companies, and we're exploring some partnership opportunities. She told me at our last board meeting that my handling of the personal crisis gave her confidence in my leadership abilities. CEOs face unexpected challenges all the time, she said. How you manage that situation while protecting the company showed real maturity. We moved our office to a larger space in the same building, with actual reception security and better access controls. I also moved to a new apartment, bigger place, better building, actual doorman, just in case Harold gets any more bright ideas about showing up unannounced. My lawyer, Janet Richardson, sent me a Christmas card last year with a photo of my case file labeled Easiest Slam Dunk of 2024. She's now handling all our corporate legal work and has become a friend. She jokes that Cassandra gave her the best client testimonial material she's ever had. The best part of this whole situation? About 2 months ago, I ran into an old mutual friend, Amy, who told me that Cassandra's been telling people I'm the one who baby-trapped her and then abandoned her when she wouldn't marry me. Even her own mother, Dorothy, doesn't buy that story anymore. Some people have asked if I feel bad about how everything went down for Cassandra and her son. Honestly, no. I could have just ignored her text and let her live with her lies. But she tried to defraud me into raising another man's child while potentially destroying our business reputation and investor relationships. She faked a pregnancy and miscarriage 2 years ago. She tried to destroy my professional reputation, my personal relationships, and my company's valuation. She fraudulently raised money from single mother support groups. She had her father and uncles try to intimidate me and make false accusations to investors and business partners. She played stupid games. She won stupid prizes. The only people I feel bad for are that baby, who's going to grow up with Cassandra as a mother and no father figure, and Dorothy, who seems like a decent person trying to deal with the chaos her daughter creates. But that's not my responsibility anymore. It never really was. To anyone dealing with a similar situation, document everything, trust your gut, and never let someone manipulate you into taking responsibility for their choices. Business and personal boundaries matter, and protecting both is not just your right. It's your responsibility to everyone who depends on you. Cassandra, if you're reading this, and I know someone will probably send it to you, your son deserves better than the drama you create. Get help for his sake, if not your own. Stop trying to rewrite history and take responsibility for your choices. The rest of us have moved on. You should too.